Hey guys, and welcome to the Point and Click Adventurers podcast with me, YakWaxLips, and my good friend Torian Shepherd. On this show, we talk about adventure games, both old and new, and basically just share our love and news and stuff like that. So it's been a couple of weeks since our last one. We do plan to do this fortnightly, but I'm going to blame the summer. Just in general, just inverted quotes, the summer as well we haven't. But so Torian, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing okay. Yeah, it has been a while. Holidays, school holidays, sickness. Pretty much had it all, haven't we, since the last episode? So
yeah, there's always been like, I'm ready to record now, and I'm like, oh, actually, I'm now in like Cornwall, and then I'm back and be like, hey, I'm ready, and you're like, well, actually, I'm over here, and
that's it.
yeah,
Yeah, so
it's been hard.
Good. It is, and it's good to be back doing another episode. Actually,
yeah, it's
so
been good.
How have you been?
I'm all right. The YakWaxLips side of things generally this, adventure games has died down on my channel somewhat because of the summer. We went away several places, and so my usual 4, 5, 6 videos a week went down to one at one point, and just don't have the times. But now this past week and a half, I've really been plowing back into it. So the excitement never dwindled. It's just I have a lot more time to devote to the channel now. So this week I've finished off my Broken Sword Let's Play, which was really good fun, especially towards the end, because I know you've not long finished Broken Sword, and I know I've mentioned it before, I've played it several times, but from about 2/3 on, I didn't know what I was doing. It was like playing a new game, which was great. And then obviously the community getting involved, so that was good. And then apart from that, recording the trailer talk, which came out last week, first one in again 6 to 8 weeks or something like that. And just catching up on the news, because there's a lot coming up.
There is.
How about you in the game world? What have you been up to for the past?
The game world. I finished Broken Sword 2 not that long ago, which incidentally just got a big update. I don't know if you saw.
I did, because Steam. That's mine. I'm going directly into Broken Sword 2 from Tuesday. So
that's it. So I was going to say, you're probably going to get to benefit from some of the things on that update, because it seems like quite a hefty one. A lot of little changes and things they've put into the game. So should be good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
And I started Broken Sword 3 for the first time, which is massively different to the previous 2 entries. Very, very different. Did you say you haven't played that one either?
I've not. I've only ever played 1 and 2. Right. I've had the other ones in my Steam library since forever, but it's it's just the look of them, the response of the community to them. But I thought I needed my own opinion on them. So I will be playing. Same as you, I guess, like one after the other. My plan is to play all 5 of them. Yeah. So how far are you into it?
I've done 6 episodes. So what's that? About 2, maybe 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
So far, pretty good. It's that sort of era of adventure games when the PS2 came out. So you have got that 3D graphics similar to Escape from Monkey Island that were a bit in places. You think, oh god, that looks terrible.
Yeah.
And the keyboard controls, which are actually not as bad as I thought they were going to be. I read the Steam reviews before starting, and it was all like negative reviews. Hate the camera, hate the controls, but actually it's not been too bad so far. The story's good.
Yeah.
It's a lot of like box moving puzzles, weirdly. So you got to like grab hold of a box and drag it around to find the ledge to climb up on and stuff. So it's not point and click.
Yeah, I haven't heard all these, like I said before, and it's again one of the reasons why I haven't delved into it, because if a game slightly deviates away from adventure games, I'm like, nope, don't want to do it. But I think it's been, what was it, about 2000-ish that came out, 99, 2000?
2003, I think, or 2002, something like that.
So I think games from that era now are being reevaluated. Like, you can't really judge anything on graphics from these days. It's all about story. I was saying, like, I played Escape from Monkey Island a year ago now, maybe, for the first time, and I completely went into it going, the graphics are trash. It's 3D, it's the keys and all that. But I loved it. I thought it's great. Bottom one or two things towards it, like story wise towards the end, but it's the same characters. So I assume, because you are George and Nico again, I'm sure I'm gonna enjoy it.
I think you will. It feels like Broken Sword, but just slightly different way of controlling it to me. So
Cool.
So yeah, I've been doing that. That's mostly it, to be honest. I'm getting towards the end of Lamplight City, I think.
Yeah. What case you on? Do you know? Do you remember?
I am on a case where somebody was killed after the election.
Yeah. I can't remember too much, but
and I think the developer told me there's 5 cases. I think
there's 6. Is there 6? It's been a while since I played it. Those guys who are listening now, let us know. Is it 5 or 6? I have played it twice, so I should know. But yeah, it's oh cool. So how did your first few cases get on? Did you solve them as such?
I think I did okay.
Right,
one I definitely got right. One I'm not sure if I got right, and one I locked myself out reasonably early trying to. It's the steam boiler. I don't know if you remember the steam boiler trying to fix.
Outside
somebody's house. Yeah, and I blew it up basically.
Oh really?
Which then locked me out of all the dialogue. So I knew who the right suspect was, but I wasn't able to actually accuse them because I didn't have the proof. So
I accuse you because I saw it on Steam. Someone told me it doesn't work in game, does it?
Yeah, that's it. So that was slightly disappointing. So now every time I click a dialogue option, I'm really paranoid I'm going to say the wrong thing, and they'll just be like, "No, that's it. You failed the case."
I got locked out when I was talking to the daughter in the greenhouse about something, and I basically not accused her of the crime, but just said, she's a bad daughter or something like that, or your dad and mom is basically I verbally abused her, and she was like, "Get out," and that was it. Done. Couldn't do anything. Couldn't talk to her again. Which, but yeah, I mean, talking about Lamplight City, it's Gundislav Games. Obviously, he's working on Rosewater, which he just announced the voice cast to, and it's quite a big voice cast, and that's one that I'm really, really looking forward to. And I imagine, I think at the next Steam Next Fest, I think he's going to release an updated version of the demo. Okay. So I'll be replaying that, and I think it's going to have probably a bunch of voices in there and extra puzzles and stuff. So if you've been following that for a couple of years now, it's been working on it for a long while. Then those guys listening, make sure that even if you've already played the demo, I'd say go and play it again because it'll be different. So
definitely. Yes, it's definitely one that I'm looking forward to. One of my most anticipated ones, I think, especially after playing Lamplight City. I'm very excited to give Rosewater a go. Yeah. It looks like he stepped everything up, like the story, the visuals, everything on it. I've seen the trailer, and I did play the demo at EGX about this time a year ago, actually. Really good, even without the voices. So I'm given some of the voice actors that he's got on board. Very, very excited to see what that's going to be like. Yeah,
definitely. Talking about upcoming games, I did just release my trailer talk video, which was a little plug for me. I will be releasing them pretty much every weekend now. I say pretty much because I can never say 100% yes, because I am quite good at sitting down and watching telly. So and basically I'll be talking about upcoming games. So just had one out this past week, and it's quite a long one because I haven't done it for quite a few weeks, sorry. But the big one there on for me is what used to be called Incantamentum, which is now called The Excavation of Hobbs Barrow. Again, like that even before it was announced, as they've signed with Wadget Eye, even before that's been top of my wish list for ages. So I'm super excited for that. Again, the demo for that was superb. If you're into pixel art, if you're into mysteries, definitely go and add that to your wish list. That comes out on the 28th of September, which is not long to go. And there's quite a few been announced recently. I can't think off the top of my head, but
I've got a couple here, which I think obviously people are waiting for Return to Monkey Island to announce their date, and then all these sort of in the subsequent weeks, everyone's like, right, I'm getting my game out there now that I'm not competing with that. So Blood Nova by Cosmic Void, coming out October the 5th.
Cool.
And The Plague Doctor of Whipra, I think that's how you say it. I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
For that one again, also October the 5th. So that's a double release date.
Double day. I've played both of those, both the demos, both great. Really good.
Really good story stuff in both those. October the 12th is Unusual Findings. Which is cool. The Stranger Things vibe, 1980s. Played the demo for that one.
Have I? Did you say?
Yes. Yeah.
I have. I had some questions about the demo. I love the look of it. I love the soundtrack, the story. Like you say, very Stranger Things. The demo, although it was good, the puzzles were quite easy. It was very much sit back and watch it happen. So like there was a big scene going on and it went on for like minutes and minutes and minutes. And it was like, okay, when do I get to play? And then you get to play very short segment. I think it was like sorting some clothes, and it was just like next scene. It was like a cut scene again, 5, 6, 7 minutes. And I sat there. So it was almost like an interactive novel where I'm like, okay, now I have to sit and watch this for ages. I did speak to the devs afterwards, and they kind of said, they are kind of going for a classic point and click adventure. So they took on my thoughts, and this was over a year ago as well. So it is, I am looking forward to it. It looks great, sounds great. I just hope that they've kind of narrowed the not their scope, but I just hope that they've toned down the cutscenes a bit.
Because a lot of people prefer shorter cutscenes and more puzzles to solve, don't they, when it comes to point and click stuff? So
yeah, definitely.
And the last one on my list is October the 18th, which is Lucy Dreaming. So if anyone watched the previous episode, not the last episode, but previously when we had Tom Hardwidge on for was that our first episode?
It was our first one. Yeah, we spoke for like 2 hours. We had to cut a lot out of that. He swears a lot. No, he doesn't.
So that's out on October the 18th. Quite a big announcement with that one as well a couple of weeks ago with Dominic Armato joining the Gates, the cast out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was there wasn't any inclination that was going to happen. Like when I spoke to him, I'm assuming when you spoke to him as well privately and all that, he's never he's kept it close to his chest. So yeah, he's got Guybrush Threepwood in his cast, which is going to help hugely because just a month before we've got Return to Monkey Island coming out. So
we have
and I know he's sorting out so it can come out on Switch as well, Lucy Dreaming. So that one again, it's like autumn is going to be chock a block full of adventure games, no doubt. After October the 18th as well, there's loads. I have pretty much those same games on there on my list to mention, so you've mentioned them all, so that's great.
We should also probably mention one more which came out a couple of weeks ago, Brock the Investigator.
Yes,
don't know if you played that, where you play as the alligator. It's called a punch and click. So
punch and click.
I don't know if you played the demo for that one. I did, and it sort of switches the gameplay. You press a key, and it goes from being a point and click adventure game to being a side scrolling beat 'em up, which I thought is the strangest combination, but it really works. It's a very, very interesting gameplay mechanic. I think it's interesting. I mean, apparently there's like 11 different endings as well. Someone was telling
really
me. So,
I have I have got a key for that to get a review out, and I did play the demo. And I, like I keep saying a million times, I'm not a fan of action, so I was a bit dubious, but I went in with it with an open mind, and I thought it was brilliant. Like the way this it's not like a tongue-in-cheek story as well. It's quite a serious story, which I wasn't expecting. Because the visuals are quite cartoony. I was expecting a bit kind of Day of the Tentacle, kind of slapstick stuff, but it's all quite deep and dark in some parts.
It is,
there was an option. I've not played the full game, but there was an option in the demo where you can choose your difficulty level, the punch and click bit, which I just want easy. I just want to do that, not pay attention to it, but like, right, join the next bit. Looking forward to playing that.
Yeah, and I will be playing that one on easy because me and punching mechanics in adventure games do not get Last Crusade flashbacks where I just
died several times over,
hundreds of times. Just
oh god,
it doesn't work.
So I'm actually playing a game which came out about 2 weeks ago called Justin Whack and the Big Time Hack.
Yes,
which is again really good. One that I played. It's been on the radar for about 2.5 years. Pretty much, it was one of the first games when I started YakWaxLips in 2019. So 3 years now. It was one that was kind of just being put in production. Basically, saying he's got this game coming out, and then 3 years later, just over 3 years later, it's out. And yeah, it's really, really good fun. If those of you who don't know what it is, it's basically you're a guy called Justin, and you accidentally get sucked back into time and swap places with a caveman who gets sucked into your time, and you play both characters. You play the caveman and you play Justin, and there's a whole thing with robots trying to kill you because of the time travel aspect. I'm not that far into it. I'm only about maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. But it's really good fun. I think it's a really good one for kids as well because it's really bright visuals, it's cartoony graphics, and it's yeah, it's a good fun story as well. So I definitely recommend that one.
Yes, that's another one that I've got on my ever-growing list to
Yeah.
check out.
Yeah,
So much coming out at the moment.
Yeah.
And not enough time to play them all.
Not enough time to play them. On the previous podcast, or one couple, maybe a few back, when I was just like, I'm going to play all of the adventure games and start with Mystery House, which I did Mystery House, and then get halfway through the next one, and I was like, I just don't have time to play all the games. I have like 3 new ones pop into my Steam list every week, so that's still on the agenda to do. But I mean, there's just too much. Stop making games, people. Let us all catch up. Let's pause it. Yeah, let's pause it. October the 18th, Lucy Dreaming's out. That is the end of adventure games, just for a bit. And then we'll catch
until
up.
We're caught up. Yeah, if everyone let the 2 of us catch up before they release anymore, that'd be really helpful.
And then we'll start again in 2024. We'll have a year off. That might be enough. Right, so that's what we've been playing, and a little bit of news. I guess the other bit of news is Adventure X, which I will be going to. Will you be going?
I will be going. Yeah, both days, probably the 5th and the 6th.
Excellent.
Of November.
Excellent. 5th and 6th of November. Tickets are they sold out now? They've just released a second batch. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure if the second batch sold out. I don't recall seeing a tweet saying that they'd sold out, because they had to move from the British Library to is it Greenwich Uni's library?
It's Greenwich Uni's. It's not the library. It's one of their many buildings. Yeah,
in actual Greenwich, which is quite cool.
So if you want to go see the Cutty, want to go and see the Cutty Sark, which is right there, go for it. It's a nice little bit. My wife got her master's at the Greenwich University, so I went to all the nice buildings around there. So it's, if you've never been to London, you want to do the sightseeing thing, it's a really good place to go. But if you want to go to London, just sit in a convention centre for 2 days, then that is good also. But yeah, it was touch and go at some points, because it was early August when they said we've got to start. We can't do it because there's been a fire. And we're working on venues. But yeah, they've managed to pull it through, and so I know that there's a couple of I think Dave Gilbert from Widget Eye is going to be one of the speakers. I think he says he's going to be there. Okay. I'm not sure of any other ones. If you're going to Adventure X, please let us know down below, because it'd be awesome to have a meet up, say hello to everybody, because we only know you virtually. This will be the first conference that I've been to due to the pandemic over the past couple of years. So I'm really excited to physically say hello and touch you. Not touch you, that sounds weird. Shake hands. I'm not going to go up to you and just poke you in the face.
I can see people clicking off now. That's it.
But yeah, so that's Adventure X.
It'd be good to see people. I think there's a lot of devs in the industry going as well, so it'll be nice to actually put some faces to names, because obviously a lot of it has been just Twitter interactions and things, isn't it? So it's going to be really cool.
So apart from the massive Monkey Island coming out on 19th, there has been several games come out. I think we're just going to go straight into this chat that we had several weeks now. Screw you, Summer. You've ruined everything. But yeah, we spoke to Charlotte Sutherland of Cave Monsters. It was a good chat, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. It was very good fun. Yeah,
it's good. So we spoke about her game, Lord Winklebottom Investigates. I was involved in the marketing a little bit of this, because I work for Acorn Games, so I just have to put a little disclaimer out there that but this, I spoke to her just off my back, us both. So I just have to say that I did work on the game in that capacity, just as a disclaimer. So I guess we'll just transition straight into this interview with Charlotte Sutherland. Hey guys, so I'm delighted for this week's podcast episode to welcome Charlotte Sutherland. She is the creator of Cave Monsters, which is about to release the first game, Lord Winklebottom Investigates. So I'm delighted to welcome Charlotte. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good so far. It's just that kind of like slightly sort of excited / nervous for the launch that's coming up, because it's just over a week away now. I'm just got a lot of things that I'm sort of juggling, with preparing for launch. But yeah, I'm doing really good, thanks.
Excellent. So why don't we start off with you telling us all about Lord Winklebottom Investigates? Tell us about the game, your inspirations, what it's all about, really.
Well, Lord Winklebottom Investigates is a 1920s murder mystery point-and-click adventure. It's inspired by Agatha Christie and Sherlock Holmes sort of stories, but it's set in the 1920s, like an alternate sort of 1920s populated entirely by animals. So you're playing as Lord Winklebottom, who's a giraffe detective, like a gentleman giraffe, and he's aided by his companion that's Dr. Reginald Frumple. He's very much like a Watson sort of style character, and you're investigating the murder of your old axolotl friend, who is an explorer who's died under mysterious circumstances after inviting you to his island home. He was going to have a big announcement, but you find out that he's been murdered just beforehand. So you basically you have to try and solve the mystery and figure out sort of who did it out of a cast of sort of weird characters. So there's a bit of a menagerie of characters there, and figure out sort of the mystery that's going on.
Perfect. And what sort of made you want to make the characters animals as opposed to humans?
Well, initially, I mean, I didn't start off doing the characters as like an idea for a game. I wanted to just do like a series of like paintings, really, because I basically started getting back into painting because I hadn't done it for a little while.
Right.
I used to draw a lot as a kid, and then sort of after working in games a lot, I kind of just ended up not really doing much in my spare time, but I wanted to kind of just get back into the swing of things and wanted to have a go at digital painting again, because I hadn't really done it that much before. And we were just going to the zoo and stuff quite a lot, really, and it's just sort of a bit of inspiration from that and stuff that we were watching and like reading and stuff at the time. So watching like Agatha Christie adaptations on TV and Sherlock Holmes sort of films and stuff like that. And after just doing sort of a Winklebottom kind of as a snooty giraffe character, I then just kind of did a bit of a series of characters. I put some on Redbubble, actually, just as like little prints and stuff.
Okay.
And did Frumple, and then sort of Admiral Guilford the axolotl, and then kind of just thought after that they kind of lent themselves to that kind of murder mystery sort of dynamic and sort of that kind of detective sort of style of game. And also I've loved sort of point and clicks sort of forever, pretty much since I got my first PC. So, and I thought that would lend itself, that style of characters to like a point and click game and setting in the sort of murder mystery kind of style setting.
That sounds awesome. I'm going to cycle back there a little bit. You said you created some these characters and then stuck them on Redbubble. I imagine like t-shirts and pillows and stuff like that.
Like, I didn't really sort of like kind of promote it much. I just wanted to see, you know, kind of. I just thought I'd try it. So I'd sell like stickers and things like that. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, and sort of like I actually sold a couple of prints of like Winklebottom and Frumple after the game had sort of been announced. So it's a while later, sort of like someone bought them because they like the look of the game and stuff. So yeah.
That's a very entrepreneurial kind of mind. I suppose that kind of leads on to a question I've got here. Is like, you said that you worked in the games industry beforehand. So if you could just cover about what you did in the games industry, and then why have you decided to go down the solo dev route after that?
Yeah, well, I started off as an animator, so I was doing like 3D animation. I actually started after doing a MA in animation at Bournemouth University, and then kind of fell into like cutscene animation sort of in games. So like I was working, the last job that I was at was Zumo Digital. So I was working on things like Little Big Planet 3, Sonic and All Stars Racing Transformed, and Doctor Who adventure games. So there's an adventure game in there. And I worked at like doing a bit of contracting as well. So I was at Rare and EA, and I was at TT Games as well. And it was all sort of cutscene based animation, sort of 3D based animation. A lot of the time though, sort of in industry, like you're not always allowed to kind of do your own projects outside of kind of like based on whatever contract you're working on.
Yeah.
So I wanted kind of time really to work for myself and like try and sort of have a bit more creative freedom really. So I thought the best way of approaching that would be to do teaching sort of on a games design course. So there's a games design and art course at Sheffield Hallam University, and I'm actually working there sort of part-time, and that then allows me to work sort of like also part-time then on the game. So I've been able to sort of work on that kind of uninterrupted really. But yeah, a lot of the time there's kind of conflict of interests and stuff like that. So depending on contracts, you're not always able to. I think the industry's got much better though now, sort of with regards to that. I think like some of the places that I've been at previously, they have opened that up so people can actually sort of like ask to do their own stuff outside. And I think they've got more aware that generally people want to do that. But at the time, yeah, you had to sort of, if you want to do your own work, you kind of needed to sort of just branch off really and do your own thing. And I just wanted a bit more creative freedom really, sort of, because you don't always get much choice obviously on what games you want to work on. You don't really get any choice really, to be honest, of what sort of games you work on. You just kind of put onto projects and stuff. And I've always kind of preferred smaller projects rather than large ones with like hundreds of people on a team, because it feels more personal. So for instance, when I was working on the Doctor Who adventure game, sort of that was a very small team, and sort of I really enjoyed that, and there's a lot more sort of input into it in a way rather than like some of the larger projects. I actually met my husband working on the Doctor Who adventure game, so
oh, nice.
lead programmer on that. So yeah, sort of like a lot of good stuff came out of sort of working there, and yeah, just wanted to kind of try and branch off and do a bit of my own thing though, and just sort of have a bit more sort of creative freedom really to try something new.
So you mentioned there sort of a wealth of different companies and different projects you've worked on. How would you say it actually compares working on your own thing now? Have you found it easier, or has it been more stressful? What's it been like to go out on your own and do this?
I mean, certain bits of it have been more stressful because you weren't obviously involved in like sort of stuff like marketing and management and like set up of the company. Sure. And stuff. So all of that is kind of stuff that I've been learning throughout really, is like just general company setup and trying to, set up as an actual sort of limited company, and all the business side of things, which like are a little bit more boring when it comes down to it. Like, I mean, the main things that my focus has been on sort of throughout the beginning of everything was just getting the game done and sort of like doing the game. I've obviously had more involvement, and it's been more enjoyable to be involved like with the actual design decisions and stuff like that, because obviously it's just I've kind of got more creative control over everything. It's more of those sort of business aspects and marketing, those kind of areas and stuff like that I really didn't have much of a clue about. So it was kind of learning those from scratch really, and sort of obviously getting some help and stuff to help out with marketing and things.
Awesome. Now, you've obviously worked at all these companies, like Torian said, and you've gone out to a solo dev, and you've created these characters. You've obviously got this big plethora of work there. How did it condense into one story? Like, how do you write that one story that Lord Winklebottom is about to embark on? And then on top of that, it's got to be in a game. So how do you work puzzles into it? I mean, it's one massive, humongous thing, like created into one tiny little thing. How does that process work for you?
I basically I tried to kind of do a puzzle dependency chart to begin with, but the main focus to begin with was the story. So I was spending a while kind of just planning out the story, focusing on that initially, and then once that was kind of nailed down, I wanted the puzzles to feel kind of part of it rather than take you out, and like I didn't want like a sort of random like a match freestyle puzzle or something pop up that's like unrelated to the rest of the game. So I wanted it to feel like stuff that's part of the world. Yeah. So that was kind of like more of the challenge, I suppose, in a way. It was trying to actually kind of condense it into the story and make it seem like it's actually part of the story rather than something that's just like, oh, you've got to do this before you can move on too far. I wanted to make it feel like it was actually part of the story. So I was trying to sort of work around like the story combined with like puzzle dependency charts and and just and then testing like certain bits out, sort of because I've tested like the sort of different demos at events and stuff like that before, which kind of helps to give you a bit more feedback. And I've had like sort of player testing to try and help break that down. But yeah, it's I wouldn't say it's like the most organized thing in a way to do, because you are feeling like you're doing chunks of bits of puzzles and then kind of figuring out how they can fit into the story. So I've basically I've just got a big whiteboard that I tried to sort of like, you know, do sections. Some of the ideas were kind of standalone points, like puzzle ideas that I had initially, or kind of focused on story, and then I kind of wanted to add them in. There's others that I didn't manage to get in, but I'd like to sort of potentially sort of expand on the sort of the whole kind of universe later on, and sort of continue doing more sort of ideally sort of like Winkleverse style games at some point, and sort of like add some of those elements in that I'd have liked to. So I did have to kind of cut stuff out that I'd have liked to included to make it more manageable for myself. But yeah, I mean, that's one of the challenges. I was getting sort of the puzzles to feel like they're kind of fitting the story rather than just plonked on, you know, sort of like on top of it, really. So
yeah, and you mentioned before that you're a big adventure game fan. You've played various point and click adventure games in the past. What would you say is your favorite adventure game, and how has that adventure game helped shape what you've tried to do with Lord Winklebottom?
I mean, I'd say my favorite sort of overall was probably Grim Fandango. I liked sort of, well, it was all the aspects of it really, sort of, because I sort of at the time sort of I enjoyed like the 3D aspects, which obviously sort of looked sort of really exciting, the art style.
Yeah.
But I also like the sort of dark elements of it as well. And I tried to kind of get a bit of darkness at times into sort of the Winklebottom sort of stuff. Like as it goes along, it kind of slightly gets, I guess, slightly darker sort of as it progresses throughout the story. But obviously I didn't go for 3D in the end, because I was trying to keep everything much more manageable for me, sort of working on my own sort of at the time. So but I'd say, yeah, Grim Fandango is the main one. Sort of I'd say, oh sorry, my blind has just fallen down now. Sorry, it's too windy and sort of like hot here. Yeah. So I'd say like the next game though, sort of I class as like Curse of Monkey Island, because I sort of really, that was actually the first point and click adventure that I played sort of when I got my first PC. So with that, it was kind of everything about it really. It was like the humor, the art style as well. I really like the sort of the look of it, and just sort of the adventure-y element really. I know it sounds weird to say like an adventure element, but I think it's just that kind of I've always been sort of a big fan of like just adventure style stuff in general, like sort of things like Phileas Fogg and sort of other things like that, and sort of general like even board games and stuff as well, sort of adventure based sort of board games. So it's something where I kind of wanted to just kind of blend a bit of a mixture of stuff in really, so not necessarily kind of taking anything exactly from them, but kind of just being inspired by some of those elements really.
Yeah. Awesome. Now, going from working at all these companies and going solo dev again, a lot of it is obviously you said you're working at the Sheffield University as well, which is awesome. But you've also, you know, you spend a lot of time working on Lord Winklebottom, so that needs funding. And you know, you did a Kickstarter 2-3 years ago now. What was that experience like, and how has that helped fund the next 2 to 3 years up until release? And has there been any other funding bits that you've discovered? I mean, from a personal point of view, like I'm looking in a couple of years' time, it'd be cool to start my own game. Like, what's the process of getting funding?
Yeah, well, with the Kickstarter, I sort of initially, I did do a Kickstarter that didn't make its goal initially. I was working on a budget which was a bit higher because I'd actually had sort of much higher quotes for translation, and I definitely wanted to kind of get localization in there. So I'd had a couple of quotes from larger companies that were doing translation, and that really sort of would have been the bulk of that. So I didn't really sort of market it that well before that Kickstarter, so it didn't actually make that one, but I gained quite a bit of traction, sort of backers and a bit of a community sort of from that one. And then I was able to, from that, I actually got some contacts, and I was able to kind of get a cheaper, sort of more reasonable indie friendly quote for stuff like localization, and it really just helped to sort of rejig the budget really. So I was able to kind of lower that down and like relaunch it sort of a month, I think it was a month later, that then met its goal, I think, because of the original backers as well kind of still being interested. They came back and it actually sort of ended up making more money than the first Kickstarter when that was launched. So that was really exciting. Initially though, like the whole process of setting up a Kickstarter, it was kind of quite stressful because it's not something I'd ever done before. So just figuring out everything that would be required sort of through the Kickstarter system, you know, figuring out backer tiers and stuff like that. It was all a bit of a pain to kind of juggle it. But I think with regards to sort of launching a Kickstarter, it feels like you just need a bit of a community in place though, because like I said, in the first one, I didn't really have that much of community around it to begin with, but I think that helped to raise awareness of the game and kind of get some more people sort of interested. So I was able to then relaunch and sort of make it. So I'd say, like with regards to Kickstarters, I'd definitely sort of think about trying to sort of build up a bit of a sort of community first, like say on Twitter and stuff like that, just to kind of get people on board that are interested in the concept, and then also really do shop around for quotes, because some can be like ridiculously overpriced depending on where you go with.
Well, that's going to be like let's take voice acting for example. You know, you go to a voice, like you go to, like, how do you say, you know, what's your rate, or do you offer them amount, and like, I don't want to insult them, do you it's really difficult.
Because I met some people at Adventure X sort of 2018. I so sort of friendly sort of with someone, I actually asked sort of what the general going rate is. So okay. I kind of had a bit of a budget in place of, so they were kind of quite helpful telling me just what the general range is. So I knew if anyone would be massively overpriced sort of there compared to, you know, sort of what the usual rate was. And I was given some good sort of advice about that actually.
Oh, cool.
And so that sort of really helped. I mean, I didn't have any intentions of going with anyone like sort of that was sort of too far out of us, like, you know, sort of like, you know, like I didn't want to sort of go for like Benedict Cumberbatch style sort of prices where, you know, stuff's going to be like sort of, you know, like ridiculous sort of prices and stuff like that. Yeah. So I kind of wanted talented people that are sort of used to voicing stuff as well, so that talented actors. But for the initial demo that I had on a Kickstarter, I had Sally Beaumont sort of do the voice of the screaming goat, because I didn't want to do that myself, but I was trying to keep costs as low as possible really for that demo, because it was obviously just self-funded. So I had like my husband do voices for every all of my own characters on that initial like Kickstarter demo, just to make it easier. And like, so because of obviously having like no budget really whatsoever sort of for that, because I didn't have any funding at all at that point. It was just kind of what I was putting into it. So obviously that's changed now, because so I've got sort of like, you know, full sort of voice acting for the game, which will fall through the Kickstarter. But also I actually managed to get Wings Fund, some funding from them, which I heard about, I think that was towards the end of 2019, and it was just starting then. And Wings Fund is actually sort of like a fund for women and like marginalised developers. So if there's a woman sort of on the team that's in like a management role and stuff like that. So and that was really helpful for getting sort of extra money that can help to kind of just spend, so I could spend a bit more on sort of music and actors, and also adding more languages to the game. So that helped to kind of enhance it more in that way. So I've actually able to get, I think it was like 9 languages altogether I've got the game, and so I've got more voice actors, and was able to spend more sort of on music and obviously promotion and stuff as well. So yeah, it's been really helpful. Sorry about my blind making a noise.
That's fine.
down in the wind.
No worries. You mentioned Adventure X there, which is obviously coming back this year, hopefully. But you've been doing some shows yourself, haven't you, for Lord Winklebottom? So what ones have you done, and what's that been like?
I actually went to there was I'm trying to remember if it was 2 or 3 Insomnia events. I think it was 3 actually. Yeah, 3 Insomnias. And they were really good for getting sort of feedback from players and just kind of gauging interest and making notes really based on sort of what issues there were, if there was anything that needed tweaking. So I've tried to kind of I found Insomnia really good for indies. That was part of the Tentacle Zone there. Also, I went to EGX in 2019, and that was really helpful too. I went as part of the Tentacle Zone there, which is sort of a sort of better initiative for indies really to get seen. It's sort of like it's much more like cost-effective way of getting into larger events. And that was really good as well, because I managed to get sort of quite a bit of press coverage then. Yeah, it's been really nice. It's hectic going to events, but I do find it really worthwhile, and it helps to kind of get a bit of player feedback sort of at that earlier stage when it's sort of you kind of freer to start to actually tweak the game and sort of tweak puzzles based on player feedback, and also just gauge a bit of general interest as well, and sort of see kind of like how popular it would be, or if there's anything that you potentially might need to change or adapt.
Yeah. Awesome. Now I'm just going to pick you up on something that you mentioned a few questions ago. You mentioned the Winkleverse.
Oh yeah.
Now this is the first Lord Winklebottom Investigates game. So are there plans for future ones? Do you have like a massive like Marvel-esque like spreadsheet?
I have sort of plans for like a follow-up, but I kind of like it's that kind of thing where I'd like to see how everything goes first, rather than start directly sort of working on a follow-up. I'd like to sort of see how it goes, but I do have plans sort of it's something where I just sort of like when discussing it sort of like with sort of my husband and stuff, I just sort of like generally refer to it as the Winkleverse, or talking about sort of the characters and different ideas and stuff. But and I do sort of have extra plans, but at the moment like nothing's set in stone. It's kind of based on how everything is sort of
sure
how everything does really.
So in terms of the demo for the game, I've played the demo and really loved it. Michael, have you played the demo?
I did. Like I said, I played it 2 years ago. I checked my channel to see when I played it, and it was July 2020. So yeah,
okay.
It was great.
So anyone who's played the demo will know that Frumple is very keen on tea, as all British people are really. And it's a bit of an ongoing joke, a little bit of controversy about the right way to make a cup of tea. So in your opinion, what is the correct way to make a cup of tea from the author of the game?
I'd say tea and then the milk goes in personally.
Yeah, I agree. I think Frumple's got it the wrong way around. I think he needs tea in tea. He puts milk in tea first. I mean,
if you can try it both ways and see what he says.
Yeah. Oh really? Oh, we'll give that a go. Awesome.
Yeah.
So when you play the whole game, we'll try it again.
Yeah.
That's it. Milk before the water is just an abomination, isn't it?
Yeah.
But when I took the game I was part of the indie showcase at Develop last week, which I was really happy about being a finalist in that. And I was just like looking at people while they were playing the demo, and everybody there did it as tea and then milk. So they kind of did it. They did it the right way.
Yeah. Oh well, I'm going to try milk and then tea just to see what Frumple says, because I've played the demo twice, and both times I did tea then milk the right way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll definitely try the other way. Now there is today is the 20th of July. It comes out on the 28th of July, so 8 days left. How are you feeling? Like, how are you?
I suppose a bit. Well, I'm excited, but also a bit stressed because of just making. I know there's a lot of things to kind of juggle and just keeping track on things, and so it's that kind of excited, nervous sort of mix really at the moment. There's still like a few things to do with regards to sort of just with regards to like social media stuff and things like that, and just dealing with like last minute bits and bobs. But obviously everything is there, the game's all finished, everything's ready to go. It's just kind of final preparations ready for launch at the moment. So yeah, just that kind of slightly excited / nervous thing, really.
Yeah.
The heat hasn't helped either over the past couple of days, because I've obviously not really been able to get on the PC. I've just been too hot over the past couple of days, so it's been
a bit hot, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit stressed with that. It's been 40 degrees here. So, yeah.
Not good. So how are you going to celebrate on the launch day? Are you going to sit with a cup of tea, Winklebottom style?
To be honest, I don't actually drink that much tea.
All right.
I still have it a bit, but yeah, I'm more of a Diet Coke person.
All right, fair enough.
But yeah, I don't know. I hadn't really thought about this, to be honest. I'll probably just like be kind of checking Steam and stuff, and just trying to ideally relax a bit, but I'm probably still going to be a bit sort of a bit stressed on the day of launch, I'm guessing. But yeah, I'm hoping I can just try and relax a bit more and sort of ideally take it a bit easy over a few days afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was wondering, what's the name Cave Monsters about? What's the inspiration behind that?
Well, it's a bit hard to describe really in a way, because I basically sort of it was to do with, it originally started off from some friends of my husband's that were going to set up a company ages ago, and they had domain and everything set up, and I basically like asked if it'd be okay to use it, because I thought it was a really good name. They never used it in the end. They had the domain and everything set up, and yeah, it just never came to fruition for them. And I thought I'd just really like the idea of it, because it's basically you just sort of working away like as a little sort of developer in a little cave, which is just like the box room, and that was kind of like the idea sort of behind it, really. And basically I just asked if if they're okay with me sort of using it then, because they didn't sort of use it in the end. It had been sort of an idea that they had for a few years and stuff, like a few years ago, and yeah, they were sort of happy for me to kind of like borrow it as such and kind of like make it my own. So I just kind of revamped sort of the like the icon and stuff like that. But yeah, it's basically just the whole idea of like developers just being stuck in a little cave, just kind of working away and not really going outside. And I know it's sort of Cave Monsters, where I've mainly been working sort of on my own, but I've got my little dog as well, so she always sits in there with me. And also I'd like to sort of try and grow the company ideally later on, sort of like for ideally like future games, also dependent on funding obviously, but it's something where I'd like to try and sort of like have a little kind of remote based sort of company where ideally everybody's just kind of using their own little caves and kind of sat in there sort of doing the work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sort of feels like a little cave in here, really, using the box room as an office. So that's kind of where it all came from. I know I kind of didn't really come up with the name properly myself, but it's sort of, I like the idea behind it, and yeah, I'm sort of happy for me to kind of take it on.
Awesome. I've got a question that I thought just a couple of seconds ago, actually. So you got all your characters; they're all animals. You obviously got Winklebottom as a giraffe, Frumple as a hippo. Like, why are they those animals, if you know what I mean? So you've got like the goat that screams at the start. That's the very first image that I remember of Winklebottom from when I first played saw the trailer and the demo. It's just like, and it's almost iconic as such, even though it's like it's not out yet, but you know what I mean? It's like, and it fits it perfectly because it's a goat, the way the eyes are. So when you come to create a character, do you think, okay, I'm going to create a goat, what could that goat be? Or is it, okay, I'm going to create a maid, what animal would fit that? Like, how do you come up with that?
I mean, initially, the main ones that I did obviously initially was Winklebottom, Frumple, and Admiral Gilfrey the Axolotl. And like I said, they didn't really have like a proper character sort of behind them as part of a game. They kind of had like just little characters. So I always like kind of creating characters. But with regards to the game, I came up with the characters themselves first, and sort of the personalities, and then kind of like trying to fit sort of the actual animals around those slightly. So I was trying to kind of just find like the best fit, really, sort of in terms of animals. Also just thinking up sort of like some interesting animals, because I didn't want the whole thing to just be kind of filled with sort of just cats and dogs and stuff like that. I kind of wanted it to be a bit more sort of diverse and a bit of a mix of stuff, really. So I was trying to kind of find animals that would potentially fit the characters and sort of so with the goat, for instance, I like when watching stuff like because I was watching a lot of like Paul Temple films and various stuff like that as well, and listening to them on the radio, and there's a lot of those kind of slightly cockney kind of sort of maids and stuff like that are generally like screaming when they find like a murder victim and stuff, and I just felt like what the whole screaming goat sort of things that were going on YouTube and stuff.
Yeah,
I just thought it kind of lent itself to that. I thought it might just be like an interesting sort of reveal to have it as a screaming goat, and just various things like that. Really, I've tried to kind of get across in like the idea. So I don't want to sort of like spoil too many of the characters. I know some of them are on the trailer and stuff like that and things, but yeah, I've tried to kind of see if I can match up personalities sort of with the animals in a way, but ideally try and make it a little bit more comical in places.
Yeah. Well, thanks very much, Charlotte. I really appreciate your time here on the Point and Click Adventurers podcast. And we hope to get you back on when Winklebottom 2 comes out.
It probably wouldn't be for a little while. Yeah. I just kind of wanted to see how it all goes and stuff. But yeah, I've definitely got ideas for it. But obviously I don't want to kind of give you any spoilers anyway. So, just so you know, it is a standalone like story, so it's not like a kind of two-parter type thing, because I know some games do that, and I don't always like it that much when you're kind of waiting and you don't know what's going to happen, like a two-parter sort of thing, just and you sort of worry then that the dev would run out of funds or something. So I've definitely made it like a standalone, but with sort of ideally room for future Winkleverse sort of things.
Awesome. Well, have a good afternoon, Charlotte, and good luck with the launch. We'll be keeping close eye on it here on both our channels.
Thanks. Yep. Cheers. Thanks very much for having me again.
So that was Charlotte Sutherland talking about Lord Winklebottom Investigates, which I have played from start to finish just not long ago. So I'll have a review of that. Really good fun. It does set it up possibly for a sequel. So I know we go on there about the Winkleverse.
Yes.
So if it does well, which it looks like it's doing, I'd love to see more of it. How did you find the interview?
A lot of fun. We kept being interrupted by the blind in Charlotte's room flapping around, didn't we? Because
the blind kept coming down. Yeah,
I think it was part of the summer.
Yeah, because it was. I mean, full disclaimer for everyone listening, this was like a good 4 or 5 weeks ago when we recorded this interview, and then we had summer, and I think that was when it was like 40 degrees in the UK, something like that, near enough.
It was, it was around that time. And I should say I wasn't complaining about the blind. It was just incredibly funny that we were trying to do a serious interview and the blind just kept interrupting. So
the blind kept falling down. Yeah, it was funny. But that was really cool. We have got quite a few guests to come over the next couple of weeks. Really excited about those. We're not going to reveal any yet, but I think a couple of them are going to be at Event Rex as well. So we're gonna go there. So moving forward then from Broken Sword, Let's Play and all that kind of thing, what have you got coming up? I know you've said what you've been looking forward to, but what have you got planned to record for your channel at all?
I'll be finishing Space Quest 6 and jumping into Toonstruck. There was actually a Space Quest fan game that came out not long ago, actually, that I was going to mention. I think it's called The Son of Xenon.
Oh, right.
I believe it's a prequel to the first Space Quest game, set in that old sort of text parser style.
Yeah. I've never heard of that.
Seen it, so I might jump into that at some point on the channel. Probably do a bit more Monkey Island related stuff. I think, like just more specific chatty things rather than Let's Plays to add to the channel.
Yeah,
because the majority of my channel's audience is Monkey Island and Sam and Max fans. I think.
Okay.
So I do, people do watch other stuff, but that's the core. So I should probably address those topics a bit more than I do, I think.
I think I'm kind of the same with not Sam and Max, but definitely Monkey Island. You look at the view numbers, you've got like the Let's Play going along a nice little line, and then I release something about Ron Gilbert said this, and it was just like that's shoot up. So just say Ron Gilbert in every video regardless, and I think it might do well. In terms of playing Return to Monkey Island, will be doing a Let's Play at some point in the future for my channel, and I will have a review probably at the end of the week when it's released. Okay. But where will you be? Like, will you be playing it day one and doing? What's your plans?
Well, I was tempted to sort of do a Let's Play from day one, but I know a lot of people are going to want to play it for themselves first. And I don't want to sort of rush through it. I saw Ron put a tweet up saying about he's almost a bit worried that people are going to consume it in hours after it releases, after they've spent years working on it. And I'm thinking actually maybe the hype can die down a little bit, and then I'll do maybe like a week after I'll start a Let's Play or something. I'm gonna have to mute everything on Twitter, obviously, because you know, 2 hours. The secret of Monkey Island is
no, it's going to be difficult, isn't it?
Yes. So everything's getting muted, I think, on my Twitter, so I avoid spoilers. But yeah, probably about a week or so afterwards, I might start a Let's Play and run that alongside the other stuff I've got going on. But I just want to savor the moment. It's been a long time waiting for this, and I don't want to sort of go, right, let's record it all in one go and then think, it's finished. I'm never going to live it again for the first time.
I'm the same. I'm just gonna take it easy, and just take it in my stride, play it with no cameras, no microphones, just me and the screen, and just enjoy it. And like I say, have my review up. I mean, I'm not even giving myself a deadline. I know, like, strategically for the YouTube channels and all that, it'd be like day 1 or day 2, you need it out there. Like, you know what? I'm not in. It doesn't matter. People play it and find me whenever.
That's it.
Right. I think we're going to wrap it up there, folks. If you have plans for Monkey Island and what your thoughts on it, let us know what you're playing, what you're excited by, and all that kind of stuff. And make sure that you like this video, subscribe to both Turian and myself, all that good stuff. Why not share it with somebody? And let's enjoy the brand new Monkey Island without spoilers, please, whilst we can.
Don't ruin it for anybody. There's a lot of people who've waited 30 years for this, so let's not ruin it before they get a chance to play it.
Let's not do that. Right. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Turian. Lovely to see you again after the summer. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with another episode.
We will. And a theme, I guess.
That's it. Today was just kind of like, okay, let's record a catch up. So next time there'll be a theme about summer. Don't know. We'll figure it out.
Something. Yeah. You'll find out in the next episode.
You will do indeed. All right. See you later, guys.
See you later.